Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new drama, My Salinger Year. And this is a film directed by Philippe Falardeau, who also wrote the screenplay for this film, based on the book by Joanna Smith Rakoff, which is very interesting, seeing as this film is very much embedded in books. Obviously, you could probably guess from the title, J.D. Salinger. And of course, the whole entire time I watched this movie, all I could hear is, "Hey, my name is J.D. Salinger," because when he pops up in BoJack Horseman, and it's Alan Arkin. But you have this story about this young woman, this college grad, takes a clerical job at a literary agency, and she really wants to be a writer. She really wants to connect with the writers, but this feels very much like a business, a very big marketing machine. And Margaret Qualley is the one who plays this young woman, Joanna, who, honestly, she's been popping up in quite a few things, whether it's been, I loved her in Novitiate. That was such a great early performance of hers. Fosse Verdon, which is a great miniseries. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I believe she was in The Nice Guys in a small role. Indeed, yes, she was Amelia, who is the one on the run. And she's just a delight in this film. I really enjoyed her as a lead. She has plenty of charisma. She really carried herself well in this film and has the look for the era that this takes place in. And I'll get to that in a second. But this film, she does a lot of the heavy lifting here. She's the main character. She has this arc of coming from somebody who's just coming in, really wanting to learn a lot, wanting to connect with the authors, and really growing so much over the course of this film and becoming the person that she wants to be. And you really enjoy going on this journey with her, and she's such a great actress, and you throw in a veteran like Sigourney Weaver, who's her boss, who at first seems very cold and hard, but you see some vulnerability from her throughout the film, and you feel this budding relationship here, and it really works. And you look at this film, some of the things that really stick out is the production design, the costumes. Everything looks so great in terms of its period accuracy, and the colors. The colors really pop. And you have the cinematography done by Sarah Mishra, who really brings a lot to this film and has a very distinct look to it. It feels very textured and beautiful in the way that it's shot. There's, for the most part, it's very crisp framing as well. There's a couple moments where it really becomes obvious handheld, like walking, like camera, and that kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. But in general, it's really well done cinematography throughout, and you have Martin Leon, who does the score for this film. The music is beautiful and really helps elevate the film, and I really appreciated that about this film. Technically, this is so well put together, and you're looking at this film in terms of, you have this young woman, and there's this specter of J.D. Salinger as she has to write these generic letters back to people in his stead because he doesn't answer his fan mail anymore, and she connects with all these different letters of all these different people, and she makes some bold choices, and they come back to bite her potentially, and you just have this looming president of Salinger. She occasionally has phone calls with Jerry, and there's some great moments in the film, and you have throughout some bold interludes of this one young man who's writing letters to Salinger, and you get to see him talking about his letters, and they're challenging, and she wants to engage with it, and that becomes one of the pieces of tension in the film. In general, though, the film doesn't really have a very tight narrative. It kind of floats between plot points, and overall, it's more about this character study of this young woman and her journey through all these different experiences and the themes of the creative process. And what's more important, because like Salinger keeps telling you, gotta write every day if you're a writer, and you have those conversations. There's an argument between a couple characters, including her boyfriend, who's like, you being a writer is about writing, not being published, and you have those kinds of conversations, and you expect them in this film. It's pretty obvious. Some of the themes are pretty, like, right there, really hitting the nail on the head and hitting you over the head with it. And where it might not be as nuanced in the way that it presents its themes, they're still very meaningful and relatable themes that I think Quayle really is able to portray through her character and make us really connect with them in this film. And, like, you have her boyfriend played by Douglas Booth, who wasn't a huge fan of his character, and honestly I wanted her to break up with him, like, well early into the film. It takes way too long for her to start confronting those feelings, and also it looks like he has a horrible wig on. It's really distracting. You get a sense of, like, you're not really a fan of the agency because they don't really represent the artist. They represent this idea of managing them and really not understanding them. And that's part of her character Joanna's arc throughout the film. And there's just, in terms of all the ideas here and the story, I feel like some people might not be as satisfied with the overall story impact of the film, but I do think the themes are strong enough, the character work is strong enough, and Quayle is a very strong, charismatic lead here. So honestly, I thought My Salinger Year was a really solid film, and I enjoyed it from start to finish, even if it's not something that I'm like, that was great, I want to rewatch that right now, but it is something that I'm glad that I got to take in. It hits from a technical standpoint in a lot of different ways and has this strong central performance, and I want to see more of Quayle in other films. So in the end, My Salinger Year, it's a soft recommend for me. But those are my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.